Good morning, students. How are you all? Yes, students. In our previous class, we have discussed about the advantages of alloy. We also have discussed about the two hot questions, one based on gold and the other one based on silver. Gold, in which the question was that what happen if the gold will become reactive? And in the next question, why we are using silver for making the good quality mirrors. The topic is clear to you all. I think all the explanatory part of this chapter is done. Now let's begin with the recall of one chemical property which we are doing continuously. See, our next property to be discussed is the reaction of metals with the base, as well as non-metals with the base. Yes, students. Whenever we are talking about the reaction of metals with the base, we have to discuss about one term, that is the amphoteric nature of metals. See, now what is this amphoteric nature? Students, if a particular metal, all metals are forming oxides and hydroxides. If the oxides and the hydroxides of a particular metal are reactive with acid and the base, then that metal is considered as amphoteric. This is the amphoteric nature, to be reactive with acid as well as base. See, if we are talking about sodium, this is sodium oxide and this is sodium hydroxide, means oxide of metal and hydroxide of metal, and they both are reactive with acid and base. Just think, see, sodium oxide is reactive with acid, forming sodium chloride and sodium sulfate with sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid respectively. Okay, now sodium hydroxide, are we able to react sodium hydroxide with sodium hydroxide? Because sodium hydroxide is itself a base. Okay, that's why only few metals behave, or we can say show, their amphoteric nature. That's why only few metals can react with base. Now what happen if they react? See, if they are reacting, they are forming salts only, but this time the salt is more complex, as they are forming salts with the reaction of acids also. But this time the salt is quite complicated, or we can say complex. Why? Because the number of elements or the number of atoms will get increased. Maybe the number of elements, see, sodium zincate, aluminium zincate. If such type of salts are formed, then they are the mixture of more than 2 elements. Okay, that's why I am saying that the salts are quite complex. And again, hydrogen gas is liberating. Okay, here I am showing it to you, the reaction of metals with base, as zinc is reacting with sodium hydroxide giving sodium zincate. Okay, students, see, only beryllium, zinc, aluminium are the metals which commonly reacts with bases. Okay, students, and liberating hydrogen gas. And the salt which is formed, that is sodium zincate, is quite complex, okay, by its structure, because there are 3 elements are mixing together, combining together to form sodium zincate. Okay, students, now after this, zinc reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid giving a metallic zinc chloride with the evolution of hydrogen gas. Why we are saying metallic zinc chlorides? Because zinc is a metal, okay, and the chloride, the salt which is formed, is metallic. Okay, now aluminium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, AlCl3, giving AlCl3, aluminium chloride, and reacting with sodium hydroxide giving sodium aluminate. It is again a complicated salt. See, only these metals are reactive with the base. Why? How we can justify their amphoteric nature? Here it is given, Zinc oxide. As I told you that oxides will react with hydrochloric acid. See, their oxides are reacting with and giving salt. Okay, means the reaction is possible between oxides with the hydrochloric acid. And again, if their oxide will react with a base, then they are giving sodium zincate. Okay, students, and water. That's why the reaction of zinc oxide and hydroxide with acid as well as base is showing the amphoteric nature. Here on this slide only zinc oxide is reacting, but here zinc hydroxide is also reacting with acid. See, ZnOH whole twice reacting with HCl and forming zinc chloride, means hydroxides and oxides both are reactive with acid and base. See students, only hydroxide is reacting with acid, although hydroxide can also react with NaOH giving again sodium zincate, and water will get separate. Okay, now students, let's begin to the new topic, that is metalloids. As we have discussed about metals as well as non-metals very broadly. Now there is a next category of elements which is lying in the periodic table. It is a very small category including only 6 elements. Okay, these 6 elements are known as metalloids. Why? Because the property of these elements are lying in between the metals as well as non-metals. They have some specific properties of metals as well as non-metals, and that's why they will be unable to categorize either in the metals or in the non-metals category, as they are having both the properties. Okay students, now these 6 metalloids includes silicon, boron, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium. Okay students, these 6 elements are considered as metalloids. Now if anyone asks to you that give example of any 2 metalloids which are present in the periodic table, you can easily answer. They fall between metals and non-metals in their ability to conduct heat, and if they can conduct electricity. Okay, they usually can do so only at high temperature. See students, just like metals, sometimes they are having high tensile strength, sometimes they will become brittle like non-metals. They have the conductivity of heat and electricity, but only at high temperature, means they will not be considered as insulators. That's why the properties of these elements are lying in between metals and non-metals, and we are utilizing them accordingly. Okay students, see, we are using the utensils, different type of utensils for microwave purposes, that is Borosil. Are you familiar with this term? Borosil utensils, in which we are baking the cake, we are using them in the microwave as microwave safe utensils, are made up of some glass, that is known as Borosil. Yes students, that Borosil is a type of metalloid, boron silicate. It is a combination of boron silicate. It is a chemical compound which is meant to use for this purpose, because if we are using metals, then we can get some thermal shock, electric shock. To save ourselves, to save our energy also, because by maintaining the properties in this particular element, by using metalloid, we are including the properties of metals as well as non-metals according to our benefits. Okay students, this is just an example. See, boron is a versatile element that can be incorporated into number of compounds. Borosilicate glass is extremely resistant to thermal shock, and they are denser also, less denser also, having having good thermal conductivity, unbreakable, different type of qualities are there and we are using them. Okay. Now silicon, one other, it is a typical metalloid, has luster like metal, luster means shine, but is brittle like a non-metal. Silicon is used extensively in computer chips and other electronics because its electrical conductivity is in between that of metals and non-metals. See, we are maintaining the electrical conductivity which is needful for electronics by using this metalloid, this typical metalloid. Okay, students? Now, what are you getting it from the metalloids? I think the topic is briefly clear to you all that those elements, those 6 elements which have the property in between metals and non-metals are known as metalloids and we can use them accordingly. See, if we want such type of metal which is not a good conductor of heat and electricity, we will consider towards the metalloids because metalloids can show their conductivity at very high temperature. Okay. Similarly, if we need some brittle metal, that's why we will consider such type of elements. They are highly useful. Now, one hot question which is based on this topic only. Please bring out your notebooks and write down the question. For making cooking utensils, hot question number 3. For making cooking utensils, generally metals are used. You must have seen tea kettle, cake dishes made of borosilicate glass. How would you explain this? See, borosilicate is a special type of glass that consists of silica and boron oxide, oxide of boron. It is more resistant to thermal shock when compared to common glass and metals. It does not react with chemicals, less dense, etc. Due to these properties, this metal is preferred for many uses. Now you people are getting it that boron silicate is a type of mixture which is formed by a metalloid. Okay, students? Write it down in your notebook. Only this question is your classwork and you have to understand the chemical property, the reaction of metals with the base clearly, amphoteric nature. Okay, students? Learn them properly.